there, welcome to a brand new Drive and Talk video with Ren, that's me. And in this video, I want to talk about the most important thing when you are a collector. Now, I've been collecting my entire life. I have this natural tendency to collect, and it's bad. I know I have to fight it every day, literally. And sometimes for a couple of months I don't think about it because I just pushed it into the back of my mind so hard that it just stays there. But then it comes out, and then I watch some YouTube videos or whatever, and it gets fired up all over again. But I've been collecting for most of my life, basically the whole life. But sometimes I sell collections and then I start all over again. But I've been collecting for a long time, and there's something that I've learned that is basically helping me to get through life as a collector, right? So maybe you're thinking like, okay, so what do you collect? What have you collected? What are you collecting right now? So I collect many things, but I try to focus on very specific things in very specific periods of my life. So for example, what do I collect right now? What do I have collections of? So I don't know where to start, but let's just start at the beginning. I collect soccer stickers, like vintage stickers. I collect a lot of that. So I also have a lot of that. So I'm talking about vintage stickers from World Championships, soccer. I have Maradona stickers, Pele stickers, like the old vintage stickers. If you live in Europe, you know exactly what I mean. If you live in the United States, maybe soccer is not on top of your radar. Trust me, it's the biggest sport on earth, so there are a lot of collectors. Soccer cards. So I also collect Pokemon cards. A lot of Pokemon cards already sold. A lot of Pokemon cards started again. I also collect Magic the Gathering and Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So I have a lot of those. Also, I also collect Funko Pops, and of course, I collect comic books, Marvel comics. I'm really big into Marvel comics. And when you collect a lot of things like me, when you are a collector like me, in order to survive, right, and to live like a normal human being and pay bills and do all that kinds of stuff, you need to have a clear plan of what to collect and what not to collect. And that is what I want to talk about real quick here, is that in order to survive, you have to stick to collecting specific things. For example, if I want to collect all the Pokemon cards that I like, I would probably live in a box somewhere and just have Pokemon cards to look at, because I wouldn't have anything else, because all my money would be spent on buying Pokemon cards, right? If I would collect all the Marvel comic books that I like, I would be pretty much poor, right? And have no money. If I would collect all the soccer cards on earth or all the Magic the Gathering cards on earth, I would be completely broke. So what I do is I collect very specific things. For Pokemon, I collect the first 3 sets, pre-2000, base set 2. Base set 2 is basically base set and jungle, and I collect fossil, right? Those 3 sets, I collect all the cards, all the different variations, and even duplicates, because that's what I do, right? I can trade them or sell them. So that's what I focus on. I just collect those 3 sets, which are pre-2000. And of course, yes, I buy, trade modern, but that's basically just to trade and sell, because that's what I like to do. For example, Marvel comics, I just collect, or at least I practice, to just do that. I collect 1980 or before that. So pre-1980, 81, because that's the time when I got into Marvel comics, and I was born in 1971, and I read Marvel comics, when I was young. So 1980, 81, 82 maybe, but after that, it becomes less interesting to me to collect, right? Maybe I still buy them, trade them to sell or trade. So that's basically the most important thing that I want to give to you in this video. If you collect very specific things, because there's too much to collect. Funko Pops, I just collect Marvel Funkos and Harry Potter Funkos. That's it. So all the other stuff I just leave. So when I come to a show or something, a trade show or whatever, I just look at and I just look specifically for the things that I collect. Maybe if I see some good deals, of course I will buy them, but just to sell them later or trade them. But I just focus on these very specific things to collect. That will save you a lot of money and will keep you sane. Trust me. Thanks for watching. See you again in the next Drive and Talk with Ren. Have a nice day.